Wow. So you guys are in for a treat. When I create these events, I try to go out of my way to find people who maybe you haven't heard of before, but are just changing the world and making the world a better place. And back, I guess it was December, I was at a dinner in Toronto, and I had a chance to meet a constable, a police officer from Toronto. And he brought with him a couple of graffiti artists. In fact, one of the graffiti artists, the one who made the logo, of course, he refused to sign his name to it. He didn't know I asked him to. And these guys, and Scott Mills is just this incredible person. He does work with Crime Stoppers International, and he is he's not only he's a cop who tweets, but he has a big heart, and he's been working with people, particularly graffiti artists, and using them to leverage to affect change in ways which I never thought was possible. And they've been in New York for a few days, and they've done some incredible work here already. And he is just an incredible human being, and I just want to give put a lens to him and have him come out and share his story, and he'll bring out his crew. Scott, come out here, please. Give it up.
Thanks. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us here. Thank you, Jeff. From the bottom of our hearts, we are so honored to be able to talk in front of this audience about what we're going to talk about. I'd like to bring out my two friends, Kedri and Jesse.
Yeah, come on out, guys. Come out.
Thank you. This is Jesse.
Hi.
And this is Kedri. Kedri is Bub's art, and Jesse is Art of Fade. I'm Graffiti BMX Cop and CSI World, amongst many other Twitter handles in the law enforcement world. I've got Stephen Welton right in front of me with the camera. He's an important part of the team down here. Thank you, Stephen. There's also Twitnik, Nicholas Maharaj, who wanted to be here, but he stayed at home because he's in school. School's first. And that's what this is all about. I've been a police officer for 21 years. 2 different major urban police services. Peel Regional Police, which is Mississauga and Brampton. When you fly into Toronto, into the airport, that's Peel Regional Police. And Toronto Police, which I'm the social media officer for Toronto Police. I work in the media office, corporate communications now, but I was assigned to work about 5 years ago with the Crime Stoppers program, which is a community program run by the community, for the community, and the goal is to provide a service for anonymous tips to help stop, prevent, and solve crimes worldwide. And one officer was assigned to educate 2.5 million youth in Toronto how to use that service. I said, how can we do it better? Well, I had 3 missing teens at the time, one right from my school. I said, we need to use social media. So we started a YouTube account. And we've got close to 3,000 videos on YouTube now. If you Google or go on YouTube or Google Toronto Crime Stoppers, you'll see all types of videos. And it's not just appeals for information for wanted fugitives or appeals for crimes. It's community building. I realized that graffiti had a really great place with the hearts of many people, including youth, especially youth. I also realized that BMX bikes had a soft spot in the hearts for the kids, and it was good for them. And so we started up separate YouTube accounts called Toronto BMX and Legal Graffiti Art. And we started giving kids opportunities and posting them on the internet. Kedri reached out to me on the YouTube Legal Graffiti Art account and said, Scott, I know you're a cop, you don't know me. I don't even live in Toronto, I live in Mississauga, which was my old police force. And he said, I want to have an opportunity. Well, that was 4 years ago. In 2008, Kedri was given the honor of Crime Stoppers International Student of the Year for 1,300 Crime Stoppers programs worldwide. He was introduced in Des Moines, Iowa at a training conference, 28th annual training conference for Crime Stoppers International as a graffiti artist working with the police. Absolutely phenomenal, because we could actually now get anonymous information and build trust between police and Crime Stoppers in the community to get the information to actually prevent a crime, to get the gun off the street before somebody dies. That's very important. Our tips went from 300 a month to over 1,000 a month in 2 years using social media. But it's not just social media. It's relationships and technology. It's relationships. We decided when we were honored, Joanne's here, Joanne Wallace, thank you very much for introducing us to Jeff. Jeff believed in us through a chance meeting in a bar in Toronto because of an invite from Joanne.
I tried to set it up like that.
Yeah, you worked. And I said to Jeff, I said, Crime Stoppers International is really hurting because they give $2,000 of reward, cash rewards for anonymous tips up to, and we're breaking the bank because we're getting so many tips to help prevent violence worldwide, and this is all run at the community level with registered charities at the local level. So we need a top-down governance, and I'm the social media advisor for Crime Stoppers International. I got these great guys working with me on the theme of graffiti and BMX and many other positive activities. Can you help me? Jeff looked at me and he said, let me help you. Well, help he has. He introduced us to invisible people. Was Mark Horvath here? Mark. This is a dream come true. Come right over here, Mark. I want to be right beside you with these guys. Through social media, we hooked up with invisible people through these guys. And we decided that we believe so much in homeless issues and raising awareness, we wanted to raise hope for homeless. We decided we wanted to show the world not really what our end goal was, but we wanted to help something for the state of now. And so these boys came with me down here, we didn't know where we were going to paint, and we ended up here at Tough City Tattoos down in the Bronx, and they painted this mural, which the boys are going to tell you about. It's Hope for Homeless. And I'm hoping everybody out there is going to put some hope out there for the homeless. Because how this fits in with Crime Stoppers is when we were driving down here, I got a tweet from Mark saying you need to hook up with Single Steph 380. Well, Single Steph 380 is now my friend. She's Stephanie Barnes. We're all hooked up on Facebook. We're all hooked up on Twitter. And she sat out there and she installed our Leave a Tip tab on Facebook for Crime Stoppers. While we were here, we helped Tough City Tattoos install a Leave a Tip tab, and they're out there tweeting us today. They're feeling the love, all because of relationships and technology. Back home, people are watching. I got an email backstage saying that the mayor, who's probably one of the most conservative mayors Toronto's ever had, but he's a good guy. He said, we want to actually have some police-sanctioned murals. Can Scott Mills give us a list so that we can have police-sanctioned murals in Toronto? That email just came to me backstage, and I sent back my boss, at Mrs. Megan Gray on Twitter, a message saying, you just changed my presentation. And thank you, Megan, for that information. Very timely, the state of now. What we want to do with this is I want the boys to explain what this is going on because I can't even explain it. The end result is we want to do a social media campaign. We want the boys to paint airplanes with stuff like this. We want to paint airplanes. And what we want to do is have a social media campaign for Crime Stoppers International and have people take photos of themselves in front of beautiful artwork like this with messaging like Mark's and these guys' message and the world's message, the community coming together, and then you install the mobile apps. You go to places where you connect with relationships and technology. You download Crime Stoppers and you submit that tip anonymously when you got that bad feeling that something might go down, and we prevent a terrorist attack. We were at ground zero here. We drove down here in a Canadian Heroes van. We're driving home in a Canadian Heroes van, thanks to Chris Eklund. We never want another terrorist attack like September 11th. We can prevent this, people. We can prevent it with trust and relationships and technology. We can. That's why we want to paint airplanes. Think you're getting on the plane when you're leaving here and you take a picture with one of Richard Branson's Virgin planes or anybody's plane, and they actually take it, they put it on TwitPic, they put it on Facebook, and they go to our page, they download the app, and when they get that spider sense that something's wrong, they get that tip in, and the authorities can actually go and stop something like that from happening before it starts. How many people are up for that? Anybody up for that? I just want to say my shout out here because I want these guys to finish up. We were going to have me at the end. I want these guys to finish up. My shout out is for WebDoc. At WebDoc, WEBDOC has created the journey here for what you're about to see, what this mural here with Mark Horvath, Invisible People, We Are Visible. These boys have done it. They've lived the dream. Thank you, Jeff, for allowing us to live the dream. And I'm going to turn it over to Jesse Pacho, Art of Fade.
Thanks, Scott. I just want to say, first off, before I get into it, I met Scott in 2007 through the efforts of Kedre. And at first, I didn't trust him. Me being a graffiti artist and him being a police officer, I was not supportive of the idea at all of working with a police officer. But I took a chance with some help from my friend here. And we went down to his one event. And I said, you know what, he's kind of a nice guy. He bought us lunch, treated us real well. I said, okay, fine, yeah, why not, let's do this. And then from 2007 up until right now, we've just been working together, we've become friends, and it's been amazing. And it's such a blessing to know him because what we do is we bring his message and his movement to a crowd that he necessarily can't reach as being a police officer, and vice versa. I mean, I never thought back then that I'd be on this stage or anywhere talking to these professionals, talking to these people about what we're doing. I'm just a graffiti artist, right? But it's not being just a graffiti artist. When you look past the negative constructs and the negative stigma that graffiti has, you realize that it's actually a pretty powerful tool to affect positive change and to help build communities. I remember there's a mural project that I was working for, I managed in Toronto, and last summer we painted a mural for the Highway of Heroes dedicated to the fallen troops. And the residents of the building and the condos nearby didn't necessarily care about those back alleys because it's none of their business, right? They don't have to worry about that. But I remember from the mural that I facilitated with that group, they were inspired to actually organize a community cleanup. And they came down and cleaned up all the alleyways and really made it beautiful, made their area beautiful. And all of this is community building that was inspired by the painting of a mural, which came from the graffiti that we do. This is something that we created when we came down to New York for Invisible People. And I just want to say thank you again to Jeff for bringing us down, because we've been talking about coming to New York for a long, long time. I mean, graffiti started here. And we got the chance to paint with one of the original pioneers that started in 1976. And I never in my life would have imagined that we would have had the chance to meet him. So I'm going to leave it to Kedre to explain more about the mural.
All right. The mural itself, the original idea when we wanted to come down, we wanted to paint actually a large-scale mural and have a whole theme and really kind of put a lot of detail in it. Unfortunately, we got a smaller space, but it was so easy to get the process going. Tough City welcomed us with open arms and gave us the opportunity to really just to have some fun. So we kept it simple. We just did a couple of what we call burners, which is just our names. We put a portrait of Jill Scott Heron, who passed away just recently. He has a great song called The Bottle. And Jill Scott Heron is really famous for being the voice of the revolution in the 60s, the Black Panther movement. He's the man that says the revolution will not be televised. We gave the Invisible People a shout out on the wall, which is important in the graffiti community because when you do things like that, you're now bringing awareness to that community. And not only that, we made it visible and easy to read so that everybody can now be a part of the process and know exactly who we're speaking to. So this is just a smaller production, and it's just us having some fun. Basically, graffiti art is an art form that was created by youth and for the youth. So it's really easy for us to go to these kids and give them something that they can truly be a part of. It's important for kids to be creative and really express themselves, because they get lost in the world and you're forced to do so many things. So when we come and approach them to do graffiti, they get to put their hands on something that they can recognize right away. One of the projects that I started recently doing is with a prison in Brampton, Ontario, called Roy McMurtry Youth Center. And I've been working with the young inmates to paint murals. And the reason why I find it important to paint with the inmates is because they're kind of stuck, they feel stuck in a system, right? That just kind of just keeps them locked down, and they don't really get much. They have to serve their time. They're being told when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to eat. So I go in and we all create together a beautiful mural. And I give them the power to show them that they can do anything. It's not necessarily just about them creating art. The fact that we're all like each other, we come from the same backgrounds, we have the same kind of stories and same kind of struggles, and they see me and they see Jesse, they have proof now, physical proof, that they can do anything. And now we're in New York, thanking Jeff, thanking Mark, and hopefully we're going to go around the world and do things. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to give you guys a high. Come on. You guys, just hear this. You guys are so awesome. I just think they're happy with you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing us.
Thank you, really. You guys just, I'll give you a hug.
Group hug.
You guys
Thanks a
rock.
lot.
Thank you.